Hey there, you looking kinda cute. Please consider subscribing and check out our Patreon for more. Enjoy the video. The rest of the day, it was hard to pay attention to work. I thought about her all the time. I put on a wig with hair that looked more like hers and tried to look more like her. I tried to think like her as much as possible because I wanted to know what she was thinking. 2 more changes happened at work that week, but I didn't really care about them because I was thinking so much about Gina. First of all, the women at the plant always complained about how long the lines were in the women's bathroom during breaks, while the lines in the men's room were always short. When we got there one day, we found that they had fixed the problem by remodeling, and now there was only one room for all the workers. We all needed stalls because we all wore dresses, skirts, nylons, and other clothes to work. During our breaks, we all did our hair and makeup, so we needed a lot of sinks and mirrors. So having one big bathroom for everyone was the best choice. So now there was just one big women's room that everyone could use. The other change was that the smell in the plant wasn't always the best because summer was coming and it was hot. So we started putting on perfume every morning, along with the other things we put on every morning. So instead of smelling like work and sweat, the air around the plant now smelled like flowers. Because of this, the products that came off the lines smelled better, which made the customers happy. Friday seemed to last forever, but once it was over, I took the dress I was going to wear that night out of my closet. Then I went to my purse and got my car keys. I drove home. When I got home, I took a shower and then put on my nice clothes. I did my own makeup because I knew how to do it by now. I put on my wig and made a few small changes. At the company store, I bought a nice pair of pumps that went with the outfit. Since the shoes had open toes, I even painted my nails to match. She was a woman, so she would notice all the little things I did to get her ready for the date. Men have never noticed how hard women work to get ready. I smiled because I knew it would make her happy. I put on some nice perfume, a necklace, and some earrings that I bought at the mall, and then I sat down to read Redbook while I waited for Gina to arrive. She was on time, and I got into her black VW Jetta as we sped down the highway on our way to dinner. We had a great night, talking about a lot of different things. There were a lot of guys who tried to hit on us, and a few of them asked if we were sisters. I think it was my hair and the fact that I had been trying to copy her style all week. I felt like I was on air the whole time, but by the time she took me home at the end of the night, I was exhausted. It was a great date, and when it was over, we hugged each other goodbye. We agreed that we'd do it again as soon as we could. I couldn't have asked for anything better. "Promise you'll call me," I said. "I'll do it," she said back. Gina and I became close friends after that. We hung out a few times a week and went on real dates on the weekends. We ate lunch together every day. I had to keep dressing like a girl. That was the only catch. I didn't want to ask her why because I didn't want the conversation to end. It was the best thing I've ever done. Back at the plant, everything was going well. Production and profits went up a lot, and our in-house testing of products went very well. They kept giving us more and more clothes, which we all gladly took. One day, Wendy told us that the computer system had been fixed and that our real names would be on our next paychecks. But by Friday, things had gotten worse instead of better. My name was written with Miss in front of it, and my first name was written as Karen. The same computer also messed up other things, like how my name tag said Karen on Monday. For safety reasons, we had to wear a tag, so I was stuck with it. But Gina took to it right away when she saw me. "Karen," she told me, "you look great today. I really like your hair." "Gina," I told her, "it's great to see you. Your clothes look good. Those look like new shoes." "Yes, I bought them last week at the mall. Karen, you should come with me. You'd love this pair." So she knew right away that my name was a girl. In fact, all the women at the plant called me Karen, so I got used to it at work. One good thing about having a female name was that when the company golf league started that Tuesday, I was listed as a woman, so I got to start from the red tees. Gina and I had gone shopping, so I was wearing a white golf skirt with pink trim. I got a visor and a sleeveless shirt with pink stripes that went with it. Golfing with the girls was more fun and social than golfing with the guys. I had a lot more fun. In fact, the conversation was more important than the score, so there was no pressure. And Gina and I got to play. Wendy came to talk to me on Thursday. "You've done a great job with Tri-State, Karen. I wanted you to know that I'm thinking about putting you in charge. I was happy. My big chance to get ahead in life. As you know, most of our lower-level managers are still men," she went on. "We want to make this place fair for both men and women. So I'll tell you a little secret. If you were a real woman, your chances would be much better." "How would I do that, though?" I asked. "I have this form. I knew you'd be asked about this, so I wanted to give you a head start. I just want you to have a good chance, and this is it." It was so like a woman to care about someone else in that way. Most men in the business world don't care about anyone but themselves. But women usually think about other people as well. In the stack of papers Wendy gave me, there was a form to tell the state about my new gender. There was also a copy of a section of the company handbook that showed that our medical benefits paid for certain surgeries in full. It said that I could get free surgery to change my gender. I didn't know what to do, so that night I went to Gina's to talk about it. She was very helpful and told me, "This is your chance to get into management, which is what you've always wanted. I think this is what you should do." "What about us, though?" I asked. "Karen, the more feminine you've become, the more I love you. When you act like a woman, I love you. What could I do?" I filled out the forms, sent them in the mail, and let Wendy know that I was ready. She said that if you want to be a manager, the first thing you need to do is work at many different jobs in the plant, so you can see how everything works together, not just in your own department. The first job I was given was as a waitress in the executive cafeteria. I had to wear a dress that was similar to what a maid would wear. It was strange to serve only women business leaders. I could tell that my hard work was paying off because they told me how well I was doing and how they would keep track of my progress. "You have the kind of information we need," said one upper manager. "You might make something of yourself someday." As I had been taught, I smiled and curtsied. "Please get me some more tea, Karen," said Donna. "Yes, ma'am." I said my answer and went to the kitchen. This was wonderful. Next, I worked at a front desk for a week. This was a job where you had to talk to people every day, so you had to be nice, upbeat, and looking good didn't hurt. A supplier is much less likely to yell at a pretty blonde than at a rough-looking man. So the girls in that area taught me how to be cheerful and make customers feel welcome, but also how to keep my distance. That job turned out to be the one I loved the most. If management didn't work out, I would try to get a full-time job here. I had a few more jobs lined up where I would have to learn what the girls did on a daily basis. But I was told that I would have to do the last thing on the list. Wendy and I went out to lunch together, and she told me all about it. "You've come a long way, Karen. Remember when we talked about making you a real girl?" "Yes," I answered. "Well, you'll have to go get your new photo IDs, change your name legally, etc." "It looks good," I said. "I can tell you one thing I've learned from the past. If you show up as you are now, they might turn you down, and you wouldn't be able to try again for 6 months. But then I wouldn't get my promotion until later." I said, "Yes, you're right. I think you should go see Dr. Greenbaum this week because of this. Then you'll easily pass your application when you go in." I thanked her for the advice and immediately called the doctor. She told me that the company would pay for the surgery so I wouldn't have to pay anything for it. They were also going to use a laser to get rid of hair for good, so my chest and back would not have any hair. I used to shave it or use Nair, but the idea of getting rid of all that hair for good was very exciting. On Monday, I went to the first appointment of the day at 8 a.m., as planned. They cleaned me up for surgery, put me on a cart, and rolled me into the operating room. The last thing I could remember was them putting on my mask, and then everything went black. I woke up on my back, feeling tired and achy. I looked down at my chest and saw it was covered in gauze bandages, so I couldn't really see anything. There would still be time. I went to sleep again. It took me a few days to feel well enough to take off the bandages and move around without pain. I hadn't thought about how painful it would be to get better, but the results were well worth it. It gave me so many more options for what to wear. It went great, so when I went to get my new driver's license, voter card, and other IDs with my new female identity, all they had to do was look at my body and stamp their approval. Wendy told me I looked beautiful and told me what to do next. As a manager, You will be responsible for both men and women. If you want to be a good manager of women, you need to know more about us. I'm sending you away for 2 weeks of training in management so you can learn how to handle things. As I flew to Minneapolis for my training, I was excited and couldn't wait. I checked into the hotel, had a light dinner, and got a good night's sleep so I would be ready for the first day. Gina was going to fly in for the weekend to join me, so it was sad to leave her behind. On Monday, I got up at 6:30 a.m., I took a shower and shaved my legs, which were the only places on my body that still had hair. At this point, I had stopped wearing the wig because my own hair was long enough. I had to put on my makeup, do my hair, put on my jewelry, and get dressed up. It was a lot of work to be a woman. It was fun, though. I went to the office center where the training was because I knew how to get there. There were 16 seats in the classroom. Each one was a big, comfortable chair behind a long table. I looked around the room and said that all 15 of my classmates were just like me, men who were changing into women. I was wondering what we would do. Hello, class. I am Tina. I will teach you how to do it. We have a lot to do, so let's start by going around and introducing ourselves and saying what we hope to get out of this class. We were from all over the country, it turned out. We were all different stages of change. For example, almost half of the class was taking female hormones, and some even had full surgery. You will learn how to think and feel like a real woman, said Tina. What is it about a woman that makes her a real woman? Beauty, said one student. Grace, another person. Wrong, Tina answered. A woman is a real woman when she can have and care for children, which is her deepest desire as a woman. You don't have the right tools to do this, so you don't have our one true common thread. This week, we'll act out the experience so you can learn what it's really like. At first, we each got a flesh-colored pouch with a strap that went across the back. This pouch is attached to the stomach. We were each given a small blob that weighed 5 pounds to put inside. This will make you feel like you did at the start, when you were just starting to get bigger. As time goes on, we'll keep getting bigger and bigger. You have to wear this all the time and never take it off until I say so. We were given maternity dresses that we would need when we got too big for the clothes we were wearing now. Then we went back to the back room to put on our wombs. Next, we had half a day of voice training where we learned how to talk in a high-pitched, girly way. There were activities to do and scripts to read that all had phrases for girls to say to each other called girl talk. After lunch, we all changed into leotards and did 2 hours of ballet to learn how to move gracefully. Then, after a quick shower, there was a class on feminism and how women think. Then we watched a chick flick and then talked about it. We paid attention to how the women in the movie felt in each scene and tried to understand them. When a person watches a movie, they see themselves in the role of a character and feel like they are doing what their movie idol does. You feel like you've been to the moon after watching Apollo 13. After seeing Saving Private Ryan, you feel like you've landed at Normandy. There were a lot of nods. The real trick is to find a woman in the movie and see yourself as her. Try to feel her worry when her lover is on a dangerous trip and she is waiting for him to return. Or when she is proud of what her daughter has done, put yourself in her shoes and feel what it is like to see your child grow up and do well. Imagine you are her. Watch the movie from her point of view. From then on, we made sure to do that every day during the movies. We took a break for dinner, but we had 3 women's magazines and a Gloria Steinem book to read for homework. Every night, we would have a lot of work to do. On the second day, they moved us to a bigger room with heavier weights. By the end of the week, we had a full weight inside, the same size and weight as a real pregnant woman. All that weight hurt our backs, and its size made it hard to do simple, everyday things. But we all knew it was a great experience and that we were only getting a small taste of what real women had to go through for 9 months. When we got out of school on Friday for the weekend, Tina told us not to take off our wombs and that we would move on to the birth stage on Monday. I was in a hurry to get to the airport to pick Gina up. She was shocked when she saw me. Why, you have gained weight. Do you eat well? We had fun. I talked to her for hours every night, and she thought I would be pregnant when she came to visit. Still, it was very strange for her to see me looking like a pregnant woman. But we had a great time shopping, going to museums, and going out to eat over the weekend. Too soon, it was Sunday, and she had to go home. She bought me a teddy bear at the airport gift shop, and I promised to put it on my pillow every night and think of her. We did some of our shopping at the Mall of America, where we each bought lots of cool clothes, shoes, accessories, and a pair of earrings that went with the rest of our outfit. I also had to buy 3 baby outfits and a baby carrier as part of a class project. We found a few baby stores and chose some nice things from them. "When is the blessed event?" asked a woman who touched my stomach in a baby store. Almost made me cry. I was ready to give birth on Monday, which was my due date. Just one weekend of carrying around that much weight, being so big, and not being able to sleep well. I learned so much about women from it. But it was time to work now. "Before we start this day, I'd like to give anyone the chance to leave," said Tina. "You'll get to a point where you can't go back. We're going to turn on something inside you that you won't be able to turn off. You're going to learn how to see things from a woman's point of view. If you finish your training today, you'll always remember what you learned." Thanks for watching. Check out Patreon if you want to have early access to the other parts. If not, it will be online in a couple of days.